Let's now consider one of the application of factorial program, which is nothing but calculating the number of trailing zeros in a factorial of a number. So let's see input conditions here. If my n value is 5, my factorial is 1 to 120, the number of trailing zeros is 1. So my output would be 1. Similarly, when n value is 10, my factorial is 3628800. So the number of trailing zeros are nothing but 2. When n value is 100, my output would be 24. 24 trailing zeros are there in the value when n value is equal to 100. So let's now design a code for this particular program. I will consider a naive solution here which works for a limited number of inputs. What I am doing is I am defining a function called as count zeros, and I am passing the value of n as a parameter. Initially fact is initialized with 1, and for I equal to 2 to n I am iterating and just calculating the factorial value. This is nowhere different from the previous factorial program which we have seen. So up to here what I have done is I just calculated the factorial, and then what I am doing is I am taking a for loop, and for every factorial value I am checking if it is divisible by 10 or not. If it is divisible by 10, I am just incrementing my result value and I am dividing that value by 10. Let's consider an example to trace this program. Let us say 5. I know that factorial of 5 is 120. We know that calculation of factorial program. So 120 is my result. I have 120 as result here, modulo 10, which is divisible by 10. So it turns out to be true and result value increments by 1. So when result value incremented by 1, my factorial gets divided by 10. 120 by 10, which is nothing but 12. Again, if I iterate through this loop, this condition turns out to be false, and I will come out of the loop and I just return the value of result. So here we could see the answer turns out to be 1. This approach works when the calculation of factorial value is very limited. Let us say the n value is 100. I can calculate the value of factorial value of 100, but it doesn't fits into my data type integer. So I have to check for an alternative where it doesn't involve calculation of a factorial. Let's see that. Let's now look for the efficient solution. Let's say we need to calculate the factorial of 1. So I'll enumerate all the values as 1 into 2 into 3 into 4 into 5 into n, so on n. So my factorial turns out to be the multiplication of all these n terms. So what I will do is, in a trailing zero problem, let us say we have value 10, the number of trailing zeros is 1. So which is nothing but, if I divide it into prime factors, which is nothing but 2 into 5. Now I will come to a conclusion that if I consider all the pairs of 2 into 5 from this series, I could make one trailing zero. If I have another 2 into 5 pair, I could make another trailing zero. So like this I will consider the pattern, and when we enumerate this series, the number of 5's when compared to number of 2's will be obviously less here. So if I could make a solution 5 itself, it is enough. Let us say let us calculate all the 5's in a series. I have 5 factorial, and 5 factorial turns out to be 1 into 2 into 3 into 4 into 5. Here it is 1 5, so it is nothing but the number of trailing zeros are 1. How come this becomes true? Let us consider the series like this. Somewhere it is 5 and so on 25. So initially I consider 1 5 here, 1 5 here, and similarly I will consider 1 5 here. So but I didn't consider the second 5 from here, and I didn't consider the second 5 from here and third 5 from here. So what I will do is I will make another 5 here from here, and I will take another 5 from here. Similarly, in the third iteration I will take another 5 from here, and this process continues for every multiple of 5. So the generic formula could be like this. I am taking n by 5 for all the single 5 terms. I am taking as n by 5 floor value. This is a floor. Why I am taking floor here is at least that many number I required. So n by 5 floor value. Similarly for 25 I have another 5 added here. for every 25th term I will be taking that number as one trailing 0. Again, for every 125th number I will be taking it as another trailing 0. So let's see it in a program. I am defining a count trailing zeros here and passing a parameter n, and result value is initially 0. And what I am doing here is I am starting with 5 value and I am going till n value, and I am multiplying I value with 5 every time. And initially I am calculating n by 5. N by 5 is nothing but, let us consider n value to be 251 initially. So 251 by 5, which is nothing but 50, because I will take the floor value of this. I will take the floor value and it becomes 50. Now I will calculate 50 by 10 again. This becomes 5. Again I will calculate 50 by 5, which becomes 10 here. And then I will calculate 5 by 10, which becomes 2. So the values turns out to be 62. When I go for one more iteration, 2 by 5, which is value 0, all the terms succeeding that will be definitely be 0. So the number of trailing zeros for n value is equal to 251 would be 62. Now the time complexity of this program would turns out to be, let us say my n value would be always less than or equal to 5 power k, because the k value runs 1 for every multiple of 5, like 5, my k value runs from 1, 2, 3, so on. So 5 power 1, 5 power 2, and so on. So what I will do is I will apply a logarithm here, log 5, which is less than or equal to log n. So here we can observe that my time complexity turns out to be log n, order of log n. So I drastically again reduced my time complexity from previous program, and also I am here I would not get the problem of fitting my number into integer value. So this is all about trailing zeros problem. Thank you.